Hello, I'm Jim Demon with Clark County Close-Up. Welcome.
Thank you.
In the open, we briefly mentioned the duties of the Public Works. Can you explain how your department is organized and to handle these variety of tasks?
Sure. We actually have 7 different divisions. So Public Works overall. We have an administration and finance group, which basically helps us with all our budgets. We have a transportation and asset management division. So all the traffic engineering, signal engineering, pavement management, as well as the folks that work on all our grant applications when we apply for federal and state money, work in that group. We have our operations division, which is centered out at 78th Street near St. John's Road. They handle all our roads maintenance, some stormwater maintenance, and also the wastewater treatment plant is within that division as well. Then our engineering and construction division, they do all the capital improvement projects. So when you're out there in the county and you see a new bridge being worked on or a road being overlaid or just some of the new projects we have going on, that group does all the designing, they buy all the property necessary, and then we manage the construction of those projects. We have a development engineering group, and basically that group, what they do is they review engineering plans that developers submit. So when somebody's looking to build a new facility, we have plans that come in and we make sure they comply with various codes, and that group works with those folks. They also work with those folks on various agreements. Sometimes there's agreements for different improvements. And so they've been busier as of late. We also have our fleet services group. So we have a wide array of vehicles that the county manages. And they're also, so they keep tabs on all those vehicles, and also just recently they're kind of taking on our safety program. Safety is a big part of what we do,
Sure, right.
Including emergency response. And so they had a little bit of capacity there, so they're taking on that work. And then of course our parks division, which is kind of our newest division, and been really busy kind of getting regrouped after things changed earlier this year. And but overall we have a really good group of people. There's about 250 total employees within Public Works, and we'll often during the summer we'll staff up a little bit with temporary employees. So, and we also kind of within our 7 divisions, we also have a communications specialist to help us with public outreach, a human resources liaison, and an executive assistant.
Okay, and roughly what's your budget?
Our budget is, total budget, including everything, when you look at all the work that we do, is about $230 million. That's a biennial budget, so every 2 years. And that's a combination of road funds, sewer funds, parks. We have traffic impact fees, park impact fees. So I think our budget manager recently told me she has about 58 different funds that she needs to manage.
So how long have you been serving as Director of Public Works?
I've been serving as director now since December of last year. December 18th, I think it was. I was actually asked to be the interim director, and then served basically kind of a 3-month or 90-day interim period. And then the Board of Commissioners went through a process and they offered me the permanent position in March.
Okay.
So,
and what have the previous positions you've held at Clark County?
You know, I started at Clark County in 1998 as a programming engineer, and it's probably a term I need to define, but basically I was responsible for writing grant applications to the state and federal agencies, and then if we received that money, then would help administer those funds depending on whatever the requirements were. During those first few years, I also had a chance to do some project management, a little bit of design work. And then in 2001, back when kind of the Endangered Species Act really kind of kicked off in high gear around here due to the listing of the fish, the salmon, and started the environmental permitting division within our group, within Public Works. And then in 2005, roughly in that range, I worked in as a design section manager, and then in 2007 I became the engineering and construction division manager, and that's what I did up until recently. So.
Okay. Well, let's kind of get into some of those divisions you talked about. First of all, summer is the big time for road maintenance and construction. How many miles does Clark County Public Works maintain?
You know, with overall right now, it's about a little over 2,600 miles of road.
Wow.
So it's a lot of road, and obviously depending on whether or not cities annex any land or with new development, we tend to see that number go up without big annexations of land. So.
Wow. Now we're recording this right at the end of summer. So was it a particularly busy summer this year?
You know, I don't know. I would say yes, but they're all busy.
Yes.
You know, you know, living in the Northwest, it seems like we have this short window of time where we can really build our capital projects and maintain the roads. But we have one thing we've been working on every year is try to get started a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier. And it's tough early on with the weather. But this year, you know, we had an amazing summer. We were able to take advantage of it. And lots of paving going on, lots of maintenance work. So it was a good summer.
Good, good. Recently, the ribbon was cut on the Salmon Creek Interchange project. Obviously, this is a very large project, involved multiple agencies. How was Public Works involved?
You know, this was a great project. It was a partnership with the WSDOT, State Department of Transportation, and they initially, amazingly enough, the original project was just an overpass. It was a county project. It was called 139th Street, and that was going to be it. And then there was a lot of planning and traffic modeling that happened over the years, and it became what it is today. And so we partnered with them, and our primary responsibilities, we kind of divvied up the work early on, is we built the Northeast 10th Avenue portion of it, kind of just east of Fred Meyer. We relocated the C-Tran Park and Ride facility. We built portions of 139th Street, basically up to where the bridge was going to be on both the east and west side of I-5, and we also did some improvements on 20th Avenue. So, and then the state came in, as you know, we recently had the opening ceremony, and they finished the rest of the work and made the connections to the interstate.
And is it fully up and?
It's up and open, and everything's going, and we're actually actively monitoring the traffic out there right now and seeing how things shifted. Mm-hmm. And I think the original models suggested that there would be, for all the traffic that's on 134th Street, once this project opened, around 40% of that traffic would move up to 139th. And right now, we're actually seeing that the traffic volumes on 134th Street have actually declined by about 35%.
Oh, wow.
So that means that it's already been working, and I know we've already received comments from our county administrator saying how much he appreciates his drive home now. So.
Oh, great. That's important. Well, so what are some of the other big transportation projects either being designed or currently being built?
You know, probably our biggest one right now is we have Northeast 119th Street from 72nd Avenue over to 87th Avenue. It's a big project. We're taking that little 2-lane road and making it into a 5-lane arterial. That one bid this summer, and there's going to be some work going on now, but there'll be work through next year and through parts of 2016. And next year we have several projects going to construction, which are 47th Avenue at the 78th Street intersection. So if you drive 78th Street, kind of in the area of St. John's and where the county operations center is, there's an intersection there that has a railroad crossing, and it's very difficult to get in and out of that area right now, but the intersection will really improve that. And then shortly behind that, we're actually going to improve 47th Avenue to the south down to 68th Street. And then we're also planning on starting construction on 94th Avenue next year, which is from Padden Parkway up to 99th Street. And then we're always working on, at probably any given time we have over 60 projects kind of in our queue that we're working on, capital projects. And some of the big ones we're working on in the future, Northeast 10th Avenue, mm-hmm. And that's basically over Whipple Creek, okay, from about 154th Street up to the fairgrounds. We're hoping to finish off 119th Street in the future, which there's a couple pieces left from 50th Avenue to 72nd Avenue, and then from 87th Avenue out to SR 503, our next big projects. And then 99th Street's another big project from 94th Avenue all the way over to 503, and it's kind of the north end of the old Leichner landfill out there.
Now, I'm assuming that all these projects must cost quite a bit of money. Are you using a variety of funding sources?
We are. You know, we're always actively seeking state and federal grants, and we have a group of staff that's dedicated to that, and we've been really fortunate over the past, actually as long as I've been here at the county, and receiving multiple different grants every year. And so our funding is typically for road projects. It's a combination of state and federal grants, county road funds. We also use traffic impact fees, and on some projects we've also used Public Works Trust Fund loans, which are very low interest loans.
Okay. Let's jump ahead to parks. You had mentioned it early this year. The county split with the city of Vancouver and started its own parks department. Now, is it a division under Public Works?
It is.
Okay.
So one of those 7 divisions that I mentioned earlier is the Parks Division, and Bill Bjerke is our Parks Manager, and he's actually been with the county for a long time. I probably won't throw him under the bus there. And but they have about 34, 35 employees, and they also staff up in the summertime with some temporary help. And with the transition, you know, previously we're Vancouver Clark Parks and Recreation. Now it's just county parks. Mm-hmm. And obviously through that transition, we've had a lot of coordination and working with the City of Vancouver staff as they're doing the same thing we are, kind of reestablishing their programs and just working out some logistics. But things have been going pretty well. Every day we kind of find something, hey, we need to work on this, and but we have a great group of staff out there. And some of the things, you know, they're responsible for the parks maintenance that we do on all our parks. We also do some medians maintenance, so like on the streets, if you have one of those medians in the middle, mm-hmm. in the county, we'll take care of those. And then we always have some parks capital projects that are kind of in the queue as we want to build new parks. Another big part of our parks program right now is our volunteer program, and we just had a big event this past weekend called the Day of Service, and I think with that, this year we've seen almost 15,000 hours of service by volunteers. Wow. So it's been very impressive, and we're always encouraging people to come out and help, and if people have partnering or funding ideas, we're always open to it.
Right. Now, I did see on your website you're in the process of building 2 neighborhood parks. Where would these parks be located, and when do you expect them to open up?
Yeah, that's correct. And actually, we have this year we had 3 different parks efforts going on. 2 of them were neighborhood parks. One of them is the Chinook Neighborhood Park, okay. which is up in the Salmon Creek area, kind of near the high school up there, north of 139th Street. And the residents out there have been waiting for their park for a long time, so we're really, really happy to get it done for them. And actually, it's pretty much done right now. We're going through some few last-minute items, clean up and making sure everything's correct. And then the other one we have is Dogwood Neighborhood Park, okay. which is out in the Orchards area, kind of off 124th Avenue, 104th Street. And that one, a little later start than we'd hoped, but they're underway, working out there, and they hope to be done the next month or so if the weather holds on. Okay. And then the third one we was kind of doing something a little early for our future Pleasant Valley Community Park, and we put in a pedestrian bridge from Salmon Creek Avenue over Salmon Creek into the park itself, place to encourage pedestrians to cross. There's an old wooden bridge just upstream of this area where we're looking to make that into a private bridge for the I think there's a couple homeowners back there. But this is also kind of in anticipation of a future path that we hope to start next year on Salmon Creek Avenue, and then years down the road we'll be improving Pleasant Valley Park as well. Okay.
I'm going to skip ahead. We only have a couple minutes left. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges and also, conversely, opportunities facing Public Works in the next few years?
You know, there's probably 3 big challenges, you know, funding, funding and funding.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're, as people may be paying attention to and hearing about, transportation funding has been a big topic of discussion at both the state and federal level. We'll really be watching that closely. We are seeing some increased regulations, on the environmental side, and also with the grants that we receive. There's certain things and requirements we need to do. And probably one of the big things for us as a department is just balancing those resources versus the workload versus the citizen expectations and our service levels, and we're working really hard on that all the time. Another thing too is that's not lost on us is we have a lot of long-term employees that are leaving us. So, trying to take in some of that knowledge before they leave, definitely. But some of the opportunities are, even that with some of the longer-term employees leaving, chance for others to step into those roles, or people come in with different ideas and take us in a new direction. And also we have, uses of technology. There's so much technology we can use these days in traffic management, pavement management, just how we do our everyday lives, and we're really starting to see the benefits of those things. And of course, we're always looking for partnerships with other agencies, and it may be another agency or maybe some private entity. So.
Okay. Now, if people want any more information about Public Works, where can they check?
We have a great Public Works website. If you go to Clark County's homepage at www.clark.wa.gov/publicworks, you can go there, or you can call 360-397-6118, extension 4944.
Well, thank you very much for being with us, and good luck with the new department.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.